What's going on? 22 here with another cameo or first appearance. This time we're going over two new characters in the MCU. None other than Adam Warlock and Phyla-Vell. Both of them have cameos and first appearances associated with them as characters. So let's dive in while people are like hot looking at these and make sure that you get the book that you actually want. Let's start off with Adam Warlock. We got his first so-called cameo in Fantastic Four number 67. This iconic cover right here with the cocoon on the front and everything like that. On to, why this is called a cameo and let you kind of look at it and see for yourself. The first page that I want to show you is this one right here. This is a full page right here. It's got, now I want to say this is Alicia, and it looks to be this is going to be the first of the cocoon that we get in the book. So I thought it was pretty cool, and you see lots of text going along with the cocoon, so we actually have Adam talking while in the cocoon here. So I did want to bring that to people's attention. There was another page after this one, but it was more cocoon stuff, and he wasn't talking in it, so I didn't bring that page up. But here's the next one. We see that another guy that found the cocoon, he's aiming a gun at the cocoon, he winds up blasting it, and we get the text message down here. A blast which is causing the cocoon to dissolve. Nothing can prevent him from emerging now. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Let's go on to the last page, which to me is the big page of this book, and it very much is the last page of the book as well. And that's the Fantastic Four have left whatever dimension this is, and then when you get a full-blown Adam Warlock or him, to me, I can fully see this person. And no, there's no name or anything like that, but this visually, like, you can see him. There's no glimpse here. There's none of that. As far as the story goes, no, he is not the main focal point of the story, but there's a lot of like his kind of like how he came out of the cocoon in this story here. So I find that pretty interesting. On to what people say is the first appearance of Adam Warlock, and that's Thor 165. Do want to specify and say that Thor 163 and 164 also have what they claim as cameo appearances of Adam Warlock or him in them. And basically they're like doomsday kind of like cameos where, you see a room where the cocoon's at, and then the cocoon might start to dissolve, or you see a hand coming out of the cocoon. They very much are like cameo visual appearances within the story. This one, though, a lot of people talk about as being the first full appearance of Adam Warlock him. So here's the cover right here. Here's the first page that I want to bring up, and this is from the cameos of 163, 164. We see the room, we see him rising up out of the cocoon, and him getting out. I am born once more. Guys, I am born once more. So I want to emphasize that it says that he is born once more, meaning he has come about once already before, meaning in that Fantastic Four book. Let's go on to another page, which is the right next one. We get a full face shot. I, who must be known only as him. So then we get a name of him in here. So that is significant. And then I want you to look down here at the bottom left-hand corner, right? This is what I think is the biggest, most important thing of this entire book. Remember Fantastic Four 66 and 67. That's where it happened, believer. Sagacious Stan. Stan is telling you, hey, this character is from FF 64, 66, 67. We've seen this character before. To me, that's meaning, hey, his first appearance is in those books. That's what it means to me. But let's get on to more of this. We see an origin story of Adam Warlock in this book. And then this is going to be the last page that I show y'all. But as you get further into the book, because I kept scrolling and looking at the book, basically he winds up kidnapping Sif. And then it's a whole journey of getting Sif back. So like the story very much is an Adam Warlock story at this point in time. So if you're more of a first full appearance, as in like they're fully immersed in a story, then yes, this would be your pick right here. But visually speaking, I would totally go for the Fantastic Four number 67, in my opinion. Are you a first full story, or are you a first full visual type person? I think that's really what splits the difference between first full appearances. For me, I'm more of a visual person. To each their own, but that's just me. So, yeah, write down in the comments what you think about all that. Let's move on to Phyla-Vell. We're going to start off with Captain Marvel number 16. This is quote-unquote the first cameo appearance of Phyla-Vell. And in true, like, comic book fashion, it's pretty much the very last page that you really got to worry about. She's not really mentioned throughout the whole story or anything like that until this final page. We see a shadow of the person right here at the top panel. That's her mother that's talking, who's also Genis-Vell's mother. So we do get that connection of family, and you know that Phyla-Vell is the sister of Genis-Vell. And then the next panel on the same exact page, we get a full visual of Phyla-Vell, and she's talking. We also get her name Phyla in the word bubbles there, and also that it says right there, you are the new Captain Marvel. Like, I think this is a big issue for this character, and to me, honestly, I think this is like her first full appearance because we fully see her. Let's move on to what most everybody else looks for as the first full appearance of Phyla-Vell, and that is Captain Marvel number 17. This book is pretty much a Phyla-Vell story. Let's start looking at first. Let's look at this cover right here. I believe this is her first cover appearance. It looks a lot like her. It looks like her costume, her haircut. It's got the armbands. This is more than likely her first cover appearance. I'm going to tie that in later on with Adam Warlock as well. Let's look at these panels, though. Right here, this first page, we get just a glimpse of her in the bottom right panel. And I say glimpse only because, like, you can tell it's still her from the first book, the costume and stuff like that. There's just no facial features, but you know that's her. So I don't mean it as in, like, she's in the shadows, but she kind of is. But that's null and void because we eventually get this top panel here on the next page, and she's talking as well. We get a full go now that she's jumping down from where she was hiding from in the next page. Lots of jibber-jabber back and forth with Genis-Vell. So there's that. Eventually, it winds up becoming a brawl is what this book winds up becoming. Really cool artwork as well going throughout the book. But she is pretty much the story of this book. So, again, it goes back to, are you a first visual or a first full story? This being her first full story, 16 being more of just the first full visual, my opinion. What I do want to bring to everyone's attention, what I've noticed is that a character's like, I'm going to bring up Captain Marvel 17, just for instance. A character's like first appearance on a cover does so much for a book, it seems like. It's almost like the tiebreaker of what's going on as far as like our first full appearance and stuff like that. Me personally, I don't think the cover should have anything to do with it. But 9 times out of 10, it seems like if a cover is way more lit, then that's what people consider to be that character's first appearance. Take, for instance, one that I haven't gone over yet, but do plan to, and that's Gambit. Gambit's first, everybody says, a lot of people say that Gambit's first appearance is Uncanny X-Men 266. Awesome, amazing cover, and like definitely his first cover appearance. But then you've got X-Men Annual number 14. People have said he's in like 20-something panels and has dialogue. Like that's, I don't know, that seems difficult. And I know that there's also the canon order as far as that, like that particular set of books goes as well. Like 266 was supposed to come out before the annual and stuff like that. But still, fact of the matter is the annual came out first and was printed first. Just because 266 has got a better cover doesn't mean necessarily like that should be the first full appearance. Again, going back to Adam Warlock and him, like yes, Thor 165, he's on the cover. And we see him like kidnapping Sif on the cover, which is really cool. And it's even got his name of him on there. But compared, to Fantastic Four 67, like it's a great cover, but he's not necessarily on there. It's just his cocoon, but we still get featuring the power of him. Like we even get his name like on the cover. With all that being said, I hope this helps you out a lot. Please let me know, like I said, down in the comments, what you think of the Phyla-Vell, what you think of the Adam Warlock, what you consider to be their first appearances. Again, I don't think there's any wrong answers, because honestly, it's just comic books. Let's be honest. I want people to be educated and knowing what they're spending the money on, because these are books that may go up in value extremely high, and you don't want to waste a lot of money on something that you are just told that it's a cameo, when in fact, if you'd seen the panels, that, hey, that's actually a first appearance to me. Thank you all so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. You can find me on a podcast called Comically Comics. New episodes drop every Monday, wherever you listen to podcasts: Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, all the places. You can also find me on Instagram and eBay at 22_comics. Once again, thank you all so much for watching, and as always, y'all have a good one.